Everything just looks like she's excited to go on this trip. If I die tomorrow, I know the world is in good hands. I love you so much. This is the day before she disappears.
So if she is in here, will not be out any further than this last pylon. All right, so that's it right there. That's it on down.
Who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
Today we are in Sacramento, California, where we are going to bring you into 6, 7, 8 different cases that we are working, but one case particular that we really want to focus on. What I want to do today is, Matt comes with me from time to time, but he really doesn't dig into the cases in the same way I do before we get to an area. So with this today, Matt, I want to not just work with you side by side with this and some of the information you found last night and what I know about the case, but also we want to bring you, the viewer, into this as well and really just sit here and hash it out and come up with a game plan as to what we think is most probable today when we're looking for Kristine particularly, but also to be aware of these other cases in the area. The criteria that we're looking for is a person that's missing, they're missing with their vehicle, needs to be an accident or potential they've decided to check out on their own. We don't do foul play cases. There's other incredible organizations out there that will focus in on that. But with us knowing of 3,500 plus cases across the US that meet our criteria, something my wife has just asked me, don't get involved in foul play. So from time to time, we kind of hinge on it, and we've done so in the past, but moving forward, we're really gonna do our best to stay away from 100%. If we happen to accidentally solve a case that was foul play, accidents happen, it wasn't something we were intentionally looking for. And, we're still happy for the family that they were able to get the answers and the resolution that they were looking for. And so the first thing I do is my team breaks it down. They put all these cases on the map here, and anything that's in black, those are cases that we are simply not doing, that we have put on the map in the past, but we've changed it to don't do them. Cases such as, let's come into Sacramento here, into California, we have several cases that we've been working, but now we're moving back north towards Oregon. So some people say, Jared, how do you choose your cases along the way? Well, I kind of say, all right, I'm going out on the road. What is my furthest destination? And what do I have along that route from Oregon to the destination and back that I might be able to do a nice little loop, and looking for those cases that are most probable that we'll be able to solve to bring a family resolution answers quicker than we can on others. For instance, as we jump into the Sacramento area and we're aware of what it is that we're working with, first one is we have Norma Howland and her kids went missing in 1978. Now, the older these cases are, the less information that we're going to have on it. We don't have cell phone pings from way back in the day. We have very little information to go off of. That information gets lost and changed over the course of 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. But we do want to be aware of it. What was she driving in the off chance that we find a vehicle from 1978? Now, the thing is, a vehicle from 78 is going to be extremely deteriorated. We may only have a frame left on a vehicle like this. Not a very high likelihood that we would be able to find her and her kids. But we do want to keep that in mind as to like the vehicle we'd be looking for, a 1965 Pontiac Le Mans with a California license plate 254 SBI. Now, if she happens to be in the Sacramento River here, you have a lot of sand that has shifted over the years, so the car could be in the Sacramento River, but it could also be, likely it's either completely buried, or as I mentioned, nothing left more than a frame at this point. So Henry Moreno is the next one I have on here. He went missing August 6th of 1998. We have Charlie Project information here. It gives us a quick rundown, and the individual over here at the Charlie Project is incredible. She is a one-man team, as far as I understand, and does a lot that this is her passion, her drive to update cases across the U.S. She doesn't have every missing person case because there are 600,000 people a year that go missing, but she does what she can, and she has her criteria is she waits at least a year before it makes it onto her list. So any fresh cases will not normally be on her list. So Moreno was last seen having lunch at the restaurant at 524 on Northgate Boulevard in Sacramento, approximately 11:45 a.m. And that was on August 6th, 1998. He may have been seen at the Home Depot on Truxell Road in Sacramento and approximately 12:15 that day, but this sighting is unconfirmed. An employee at the store stated that he believed that he was spotted at the plywood lumber section. Now he's driving a 1997 Nissan Pathfinder, so we're looking for an SUV, which makes it easier when we're in these rivers and we're looking and we can see trucks on sonar, we can see cars on sonar, but when we know we're looking for an SUV and we're focused on an SUV, then we're going after an SUV, it makes our search job that day a lot easier. For instance, we have another crossover car that we're going to be looking for, a case that we're going to be talking about in a few minutes, which is our main focus today. But in the event that we see a Nissan Pathfinder, we're going to be really interested in that as well. Now, he may have been traveling south on Interstate 99 between Stockton and Modesto on August 7th of 1998, one day after he was last seen. It is not known if the vehicle actually belonged to Moreno. And, it's a Nissan Pathfinder, so people are going to notice a lot of Pathfinders, and a lot of tips come in to where they could have them over a state or two. But we find that normally the last actual sighting is near where they're going to go missing. Now, he was scheduled to open up a new restaurant. This is why I don't believe that this one is on purpose. I believe that this is an accident or something may have happened to him. So even though there's a touch of something could have been foul play or sinister, we have solved cases to where it was not. And so we come into each one of these, does it have the potential to be an accident? And so with his, I believe that we're leaning towards an accident. Now, he's scheduled to open a restaurant, El Mansion Rio, in the 2100 block of Garden Highway in Sacramento. Now, he had borrowed heavily to finance the restaurant and had been working towards its opening for 4 years. It was sold to another owner after his disappearance, and it was renamed. Now, authorities said that Moreno withdrew $200 from his bank account, which is not a large sum, prior to his disappearance, but the remainder of his funds were untouched. He also left $800 on his bedroom dresser the day that he disappeared. So he didn't make any plans to disappear, whether it was on purpose or he was going to, I guess on purpose is really what it is. So again, that's where I come back to, I believe that this is an accident. Now, on the south end of town, doing research on this one, I did not find a lot of areas to where he could have accidentally gone off into the water. Is it possible? Yes, but I don't know how likely it's going to be. We also have in the area Carmen Nilsson. Now, she went missing November 20th of 2020. She was last seen in Sacramento, California at 2:30 p.m. She was driving southbound on River Road in a silver 2012 Honda Civic with the California license plate 6XBB720. And so while we're out here today, we do want to keep in mind we're looking for a Honda Civic. The next case in question that's in the area will be Edwin Siha. Now, he went missing May 13th, 2009, out of Sacramento, California. He has never been heard from again, and he may be driving a 1992 Ford Aerostar van. So really today we have three easily spottable vehicles that we can see on sonar. And at the sonar, we can identify the length of a car, the height of a car. We can identify if it's a pickup truck. We can identify if it's an Aerostar van. We can identify if it's in the shape of an SUV. And so being that we're looking for mainly SUVs today, it's going to be really easy that we don't have to get in the water and we find 30 cars, but only 3 of them are SUVs. Those are going to be the 3 that we're focused on today. But now, let's jump back to Kristine and let's really start breaking this case down. And one of the things that we have on this one is that we have a individual that lives down in San Diego. She came up to Sacramento to visit with friends, so she's not in her normal location. She also rented a vehicle, but the vehicle did not have any tracking on it. And this is where, last night you really dove into this, on your own with your wife. And so before I give my input and everything on this, I want you to kind of break it down for the viewers of what it is that you started doing last night and some of your thoughts on this.
Well, last night I reached out to my wife and my son to gather more perspective on things, because I can't see everything and I can't understand everything. So we just have some just changes in profile pictures, and then towards the beginning of the month.
And beginning of the month, we're talking about in July of 2022, just last year.
Everything just looks like she's excited to go on this trip, see her family. The subject's friend Suzanne has a great timeline of events that went on here with really important information, like the car rental return. It was only a 2-day rental.
From July 3rd to July 5th, so we're over the 4th of July weekend for a couple days visiting friends. But now, as far as we understand, it sounds like she stayed in the area, enjoyed a lot of activities with friends, never returned the car. But then we get to July 20th with some information that we have, and she is reported missing on July 21st.
So one of the things I noticed first when I was looking through the profile was multiple photographs of her with cats and a message to her niece, I believe. And that message is, "Let them eat cats. Wait, let them eat cake. I'm a little jet lagged. What universe am I on? I am again. Love you, Sophia. So proud of you, my love. Keep up the good work. You are awesome. If I die tomorrow, I know the world is in good hands. I love you so much." So this is the day before she disappears. And I don't know if I was reading into things too much, but when I read the next message, it says, "I'm stuck in Folsom Prison and a burning ring of fire." And I'm looking at maps for, previous to seeing this, and there's Folsom Lake. Is this a message saying where I'm at? We don't know. There is one thing that I did forget on this, is the message that she left when she had a confusing argument maybe with her friend. Ever have a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day where you have the best of intentions and manage to piss off the people that love and respect and are so flippin' confused? I love you. I have no idea why you're mad at me. It's okay to have your emotions, but can you please stop projecting them all over me? I haven't been sleeping and I'm really tired and I miss our friendship. And I just love you and want to hang out and have a glass of wine and do yoga and have fun by the beach. Doesn't that sound fun to you?
So then we step into this is, all right, so now we have Folsom, Johnny Cash song, Folsom Prison. We have the airport that is only 3 miles, or 3 miles from where we're at, and Garden Highway that runs straight down the entire Sacramento River here, down into town and south of town, where she was last seen. So now when we start breaking this down, I don't feel like we're working with an accident. I feel like this is more on purpose, because as we dig into this more, there's a lot of depression going on. The family and friends have been forthcoming with acknowledging that she has some history of mental illness going on. And then she has her cryptic messages and a lot of sadness going on, and some of the post where she was sharing some of the YouTube post and clips was dealing with with dying and if I die tomorrow and those types of quotes. So that brings me to, okay, now we're dealing with a female with a vehicle that's missing, that has a last known sighting the day before in a quiet area off of Garden Highway. And when it comes to that, we have found that in more instances than not, a female will choose a boat ramp with easy access that's in a quiet location. So being not far from the airport, Garden Highway, quiet boat ramp here at Elkhorn, This right now is my first potential location for us to start searching today, because we're dealing with the shortly after 4th of July. We're dealing with July 21st. And was it midnight on the 20th going into the 21st? She was reported missing on the 21st.
She had an appointment on the 22nd with the friend, though.
I think it was the 21st that she had an appointment later on that day. It could have been the 22nd. You could be right on that one. And so going up to the lake, up to Folsom, I feel like there's going to be more boaters. It's the midsummer. People are going to be camping. Even though it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I feel like more people are going to be camping up at Folsom and the boat ramps up there versus nobody's camping down here. You know, they have a parking lot that come into it at midnight. Nobody's here at midnight. So for that reason, our search today for Kristine is going to start right here at the Elkhorn boat ramp. We're looking for
2022 Mazda CX6.
So fairly large. Now, we also have information from family a friend that reached out to me last night also, wanted to make sure that we knew about this case because they heard that we were coming to Sacramento, but also wanted to make sure that we had the vehicle information as well, and to make sure that they knew that she was still missing, and to let us know that another search team had been in the area, had spotted an anomaly here at Elkhorn, but they were not able to dive on it. They were not able to identify it on sonar as to what it was or if it was a vehicle or not. So we're going to, my guess at this point, I'm going to say there's probably 4 or 5 vehicles in the water at this location, but a crossover is going to be easy to spot. So we're going to get our day started right now and see if we can bring her home. Now, the thing with this today also, Matt, because we're looking at a on purpose versus an accident, we're not going to be running the entire rivers here in Sacramento. We're only going to be identifying potential out-of-the-way boat ramps as far as our first most logical probable. If we don't find her at one of these boat ramps here in town, then we'll want to focus on Folsom up there as well. So if she is in here, will not be out any further than this last pylon, because the way the current flows in here is a stronger current. So the vehicle will come in, push immediately, and it's going to be down here probably 2/3 of the way, if even that, towards those other pylons down there. And that's how most of the vehicles in here will be. A vehicle will float for 2 to 10 minutes. And a lot of the deciding factors on that is the size of the vehicle, how much air is inside of it. If a window is up or down, if the windows are up, the vehicle is going to float longer. One of the things I like to do almost every episode is, if you've never been here before, I like to do a sonar overview to really teach you and train you as to what is it we're looking at, so that way when we pan around to the sonar, you understand how to semi-read it and help identify any vehicles that might be in the water here. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to be going at 2.5 to 3 miles an hour. Right now we're going downstream, so we're being pushed with the current, and so my scanning, I like to turn and go upstream so that way I maintain that 2.5 to 3. The down imaging is a picture in time, and this is set on auto. So as the depth changes, this grid line is going to also change, and anything black is water column. If I need to scroll back, I can scroll back. I can zoom in on a target. For instance, I have something here, but I'm going at 4.5, so it's not going to give me the correct reading, because if I'm going slower, it's going to expand and make it a little bit larger. But if I need to scroll back over it, I can then zoom in on it and start to identify what it is. Now, this is my side imaging down here. I like to cast 75 feet to the left and 75 feet to the right. And one of the reasons I like to do that is because it gives me an 18, 36, 54, 75 grids. And I know that most vehicles that I'm looking for are going to be 16 to 18 feet in length. And so I'm able to identify that this size, this width, is roughly the length of a vehicle for these shadows that I'm looking for. Now again, this is a picture in time, so I can scroll back to it. I can be like, all right, what is that? So now that we're heading upstream, I believe that based on the distance from the boat ramp, this is the farthest that it's going to be. Now before I start scanning and I show you, an actual scan heading upstream and we start identifying targets, this last sonar system I use is a Garmin LiveScope. This is happening in real time, so I can't scroll back and re-look at an object, but what I do is I first identify, okay, I have something that is, 36 feet off to the right. I'm going to move the boat over and scan over the top of it to where then once I'm over the top of it, I'm going to see height on down imaging. I'm going to see height on LiveScope. And LiveScope is really important when I pull the magnet out and I start marking these targets. So with that being said, let's start running upriver right here. And I bet you, in my opinion, we're going to have at least 5 cars in the area up here. So the first thing you're going to see for sure that I know of is as we're coming up past this little pillar right here in the dock, you're going to see a shadow right about now coming up on the right hand side. And so this right here, that shadow is the pylon from the boat dock right there. The other thing I like to do also is my first scan that I like to make is going to be 36 to 40 feet from shore. And so I'm going to come over here, get parallel with the bank and the shore. And now you see the black over here is the shoreline. So right now I'm roughly, 45 to 50 feet. So I'm going to come in just a little bit more, and that way I don't miss anything along the bank. And right now we have something over here on the left, and it's over 18 feet or so. So what we're going to do is we're going to identify, based upon the trees and the shoreline, approximately how far downstream it is, and then we're going to put the live and the down imaging on it and identify the height of it and what type of vehicle it is. And they're not always vehicles, sometimes they're trees. So it's on the left. Now we're going to go upstream. So now upstream you'll see that our speed is going to be, we're going to bring it up to about 2 miles an hour. So it's off to the right just a little bit for what that target was, right in line with that third tree down right there. So I'm just going to float back behind us. And if it's anything more than just a little mound throwing some weird shadows, we're going to pick it up on live. So right there on live, we're starting to pick something up. And then what we're looking for is we're looking for the height. For a height today, for an SUV, we're looking for something that's 6 to 7 feet tall in height. If it's only 18 inches or up to 3 feet, we're really not interested in it. And so that looks just more like grass and weeds. It doesn't have much height to it at all. And that's from my bubbles that I was just doing for reverse. And there's my target right there on LiveScope. It's less than 18 inches tall. So it's probably an old dock that broke free and floated down, is what this is right here. So we're going to move back in towards the shoreline. Again at that 35 to 40 foot mark. And then we're going to keep running the river up towards the boat ramp here. So now you see the dark over here is the shoreline. We're going to put it about the 35 to 40 foot mark and run upstream from there. So I have something, okay, there's a vehicle right here. So you can see the length of it there, roughly 18 feet to 20 feet in length. So we're gonna come over, it's about this far out. And we need to identify where in relation to the shoreline it is. So there it is right there. right about that second tree, just one tree below the big tree there. So it should be about 20 feet in front of us. That's it right there. That's it on down. I need to get right over the top of it. Let's back up this for a little bit. Once we're right over the top of it, we'll be able to get a height to it. That height is going to be the critical part today. All right, farther away from it now, so it's going to be off to the left. There it is on live, and so it's a car, looks like a car with a sunroof on its wheels. And it's not very tall, so it's been in here a while, silted in. There it is on live. It's not tall at all. Alright, let's keep running the river. I think she's going to be closer to the ramp, probably halfway between here and the boat ramp, if her vehicle's in here. Alright, so here it is coming up on live right now. And it is about 4 feet tall in height. So, not an SUV, and it's actually only 8 feet in length. So I don't think that's a vehicle either. More in relation to what a dock looks like. A lot more square. So now what we'll do is we'll move over and we'll run about 75 to 80 feet from shore now. And like right here, I've got a nice big target of some sort. Okay, so that is 5 feet in height. Sometimes the way these trees lay in here, the branches roll over, it makes it look like it's a window on a car. And so then that's when we come across at multiple angles, it just seems too rectangular. This one's a tree. This is the other one that I was looking at that I thought might have been a car. But because of the rectangle size and shape to it, it gives me the impression that it's more of a dock instead. You know, it's funny, you get into areas like this, and you're like, all right, guaranteed 5 vehicles, 12 vehicles, 22 vehicles. Then you end up with one. There's something right there, but right here. Look at that right there. More of a tree root, triangular. Not a vehicle. So right now we put in the Elkhorn boat launch right here, but in the event that she came across to Old River Road, I have another quiet, also called Elkhorn. This is a nice quiet boat launch. I say that we finish running this down on this side, which will then take us over to the other side, and then we'll bring the river back up. But let's make sure we take some fuel with us as well, so we don't run out today. It's a nice clean bottom though, easy scanning, even at 24 feet. All right, there is our boat ramp right there for the west side Elkhorn boat ramp off of River Road. So it's gonna be quite a little shot to get out here into the river. Not out of the question. Really gentle current over here. Okay, I might have a vehicle right here. Pretty sure that I have a vehicle there. Maybe something there. That's what I'm interested in right there. And let's put ourselves over the top of it. It looks like it's the length of a vehicle and the height of what we're looking for. Just look at it on live, but with the growth that's on it, it appears as though it's been down here a little bit longer. Can't tell. Doesn't have a vehicle shape, more of a boat shape in my opinion at this point. No, actually it's a tree with the top of the tree. So like a tree that's recently come in here. So right there's the top of it. Bushy. Big tree log here. Some branches there. You can see it on down imaging here. She may have ended up over at Folsom. Is this a concrete ramp all the way out there?
Just maybe a foot this side of it is where the concrete stops.
End of the ramp right here.
Yeah, based on that, I should have hit everything that was out there then. And you have a couple of docks. You have one car that's down here that's buried. And then a couple of tree logs. What about some of our theories? I'm sure Matt shared it with you with Folsom. What's your thought on that up there?
So you have Folsom Lake north, and then the south, you've got the Little River, and then Natoma Lake down here, which is where he was showing me you were going to kind of go look. So Natoma Lake down here, there's a Johnny Cash like trail that comes on up here and it goes up into Folsom Lake as well.
Nimbus Dam Boat Ramp, is that the one we're going to? You have a lake, Natoma Northern Boat Ramp.
Yep, he was suggesting on the north side that's the quieter place.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna say no to this location. It has a gate at the front. Park hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Yep, I see it. But look at it, but then nobody's down here. All right, we are at a whole 3 feet right here. Seems to be a current in here, so it's almost like it's a lake river. Clean and clear, 8.5 feet. So based upon the current and the direction, I would say the car would be, if the car is in here, it would be right over, we would almost be to it right here. And nothing, nice and clear. In fact, let me show you how clean the bottom of this one is. When we're looking at it, right now it's only 8.5, 9 feet deep. Smooth as smooth could be. in every direction. Go down to the south one here. All right, so let's go ahead and jet on over to the next boat ramp, which is going to be on the south side by the dam. Should be deeper over there. Now on the way down to the dam one, I hope we can make our way all the way down to the dam one. I see some orange buoys over there, but halfway down the lake, spotted this other boat ramp. It's inside of a cove, so I'm not too keen on this one having anything, because if you look a little further just past the boat ramp, you can see sticks and everything sticking out of the ground there. So right now, while it's about 8 feet deep right here, it could stay a consistent depth all the way across there, and we might have a car, but coming back to the lake level, having been down 5 feet or more, I'm going to say it's very unlikely. The further you get up into a cove, the shallower it gets. We're at 6 feet now. Yeah, 5 feet, 6 feet. And you got all these sticks right here. Grass is growing up. Yeah, so at this boat ramp on the south side by the dam, look at just all those water sports. So here we are coming into, mid-April, it's April 19th today. And so if you fast forward into midsummer, July 21st is when she goes missing. There's just no way that this boat ramp is going to be a boat ramp that we're going to find her at, or anybody in my opinion. But we do have Matt that's pulling around to this one, so we'll go ahead and sonar this one. We're going to pull out at this one, and then we're going to make our way up to Folsom, where we have 2 boat ramps up there that we're going to go check out. "14 feet deep here. So it's definitely a lot deeper. 17 feet deep here. Coming up. 15 feet. 13. Yeah, it's coming up fairly quick. Yeah, it's still 16 feet in the middle here. I don't know. I mean, there could be a vehicle out here. 20 feet deep again. I mean, we're not that far from the boat ramp. Oh, no, that's not a car. That's like these rocks here. That's what that is. An old boat ramp or dock that sunk out there. Whoa, what is that? It's 8 feet tall, whatever it is. It's huge. Is it a car? Is it a plane? It's not a car. Yeah, it's quite the barge or something that's down there. Really tall. We got some time waiting for you. Oh, you know what it is? They sunk an entire... What if kids came out here and they took the lifeguard stand and they just threw the entire thing in the water? And they couldn't figure out where it went. They're like, we know we had 3 lifeguard stands. Now we only have 2. Johnny, oh, here's the Johnny Cash Trail right here. Look at that. Wow, this is clear here. Look at how clean that water is. I like this. Okay, this could absolutely be deep enough in here for a car to hide, even in clear water here. So we'll make a couple of passes out here. Yeah, 13, 14 feet. Even if the lake level drops 5 feet, 10 feet, still deep enough. It's a even with a 20-foot drop in the lake, if there was one, you'd never see a car down there, even with as clear as water there is here. Clean as clean could be, so there are no vehicles out there that I can find. And the car is not going to float this far out in a still body of water. So let's pull up and head down around the corner. Pulling into this boat ramp here, right now on first visual with how steep that ramp is, looks like it's going to be plenty deep. However, the downside is, look at it coming into April right now. You have boats that are out here full time, and I am just not seeing the possibility right now, in my opinion, that we're gonna have a vehicle out here with this much traffic. But again, we continue to learn. We don't ever want to rule anything out, so we are going to throw the sonar down right now and start scanning it all the way into the ramp. And 29 feet right now. 22 feet coming up. Yeah, just way too busy in here. Like you got a sunk sailboat over here. Well, it's not sunk yet. It's on its way to sinking or something weird. And like I said, because it's just how busy it is down here, you're not gonna have somebody that comes in here, in my opinion. We don't have anything else right now that's making sense. You know, we worked the Folsom lead with what she had posted on Facebook with the cryptic messaging. Nothing up here at the 5 boat ramps that we've searched. We then have where we started this morning, which was down here at the Elkhorn. We did the North Elkhorn on the east side. We did the South Elkhorn on the west side. And in this area where she was last seen off of Garden Road, we have nothing else in the area for a on-purpose location. I mean, really, that's our 5-mile radius there. But then you have the Folsom leads up here from, like I said, the Facebook cryptic messages. So with that, I think that what we need to do is turn to all of you and just say, you know, if you happen to be in the Sacramento area,